Okay everybody, so you've just travelled down the world famous Penny Lane, but this area here in front of us is known locally to everyone here in Liverpool as the Penny Lane area. So this is where all the places are mentioned in the song, which I'm going to point out and show to you now. So firstly, if you look ahead and to the right of the coach, you'll see a rather scruffy looking building called, it says Sergeant Pepper's Bistro written on it. It's black and cream. There's like an iron structure being built on top of it. That's the shelter in the middle of the roundabouts where the pretty nurses sell poppies from a tray. Now what they're actually doing with this building at the moment, they're making it into a nice coffee bar at long last. So they're making like a skylight on top there, so it should be quite impressive when it's done. But of course that line in the song, pretty nurses selling poppies from a tray, that relates to every November here in the United Kingdom. People wear poppies. I know they do in other countries around the world as well, to remember people who have lost their lives fighting in wars for their countries. So when the Beatles used to hang out at this bus shelter and used to get buses into the city centre, in November they would have remembered the nurses from the local hospital standing here on this junction selling them poppies to the passers-by. On the left hand side here, this brown building, the Lloyds TSB Bank with the white flagpole. This is the banker never wears a Mac in the pouring rain. Very strange. Yeah, what time is it now folks? 20 to 3, we said, can we have blue suburban skies please at 20 to 3 just for the Magical Mystery Tour. So there you go. We couldn't get away with that this morning because it was a bit grey, but we've got blue suburban skies for you as we're in Penny Lane. And we also have the original barber shop in this area. You may have noticed we passed a barber shop actually on Penny Lane where they were playing. There's a band outside, but that's only been here about 2 years I think. The original barber shop on Penny Lane is actually at the back of the coach at the moment, so we are going to come round the roundabout and you'll be able to get a good view of the original barber shop here in Penny Lane. The barber shop, today it's called Tony Slavin Barber Shop, but it used to be owned by a guy called Harry Bialetti, and he cuts all the gentlemen and young boys' hair in this area. This church here on the left, by the way, we'll talk about that later on the tour, but there's lots of things going on in the church this weekend. So if you look to your right everybody, can you see at the end of that row of shops there's a black, red and white fronted building. It says Tony Slavin Barber Shop. We're going to go past it and it'll be on our left hand side in a moment, but that's the original barber shop on Penny Lane. And as I said, George Harrison and John Lennon, when they were little boys, they would have got the haircut there, and also Paul McCartney when he was a teenager would have had his hair cut there by Mr. Bialetti. So you can have a look on the left now. Tony will slow down as much as he can to give you an opportunity to get a quick picture. Okay, we will be going past Penny Lane again later and I'll talk about the church there, okay? I mentioned John Lennon lived the first 5 years of his life in the Penny Lane area. John lived with his mum, Julia, and his grandfather at Newcastle Road. So if you just turn to your right, this next street here on the right where this big red brick house on the corner where this lady's about to cross, that street there on the right is Newcastle Road. John Lennon lived at number 9, which is halfway down on the left hand side, till just before his 5th birthday. So John would have had childhood memories of the Penny Lane district. I'm going to talk much more about John Lennon a little bit later on the tour, okay? But the next portion of the tour, I'm going to concentrate on the Beatles' lead guitarist, George Harrison. We're going to stop in a moment and we're going to see the house, number 12 Arnold Grove, where George Harrison was actually born. You may be able to make out the spires of the Roman Catholic Cathedral as well. So you can see we've come right up from the River Mersey out into the suburbs of the city. District of Liverpool, and as you can probably tell, we're about a 10 minutes walk away from the Penny Lane roundabout now. So we're going to get off the bus here. We've got to walk down a short alleyway, and then, as I said, if we can just stop at the end of the road and you can take some pictures of the street where George Harrison was born. But could I just remind everyone again to be as quick and quiet as possible here. If you want to leave any belongings on the coach, you can do, because Tony will stay with the coach, so your belongings will be safe. If you'd like to follow me.